What's going on, lads and lasses? Welcome back to 100% Marks. So this is just a quick video talking about the latest news on the transfer front at Newcastle United. Also talking about a bit of news in the club as well. First off, we'll talk about the news in the club. Of course, Newcastle are hoping to secure Sean Longstaff on a new deal. Eddie Howe today, of course, said the midfielder was going to be out of contract in the summer and has a long-term future at the club. So it looks like Eddie Howe is trying to tie down Sean Longstaff to a brand new contract. That was, of course, coming from a source at the Shields Gazette, talking about, of course, the possibility that Sean Longstaff could still have a very long-term future at the club. Personally, if a good offer came in for Sean Longstaff, I would move him on. He isn't quite the player that he was, under Rafa Benitez a few years ago. He was a really good player, but now he's not anywhere near that level, I would say. And of course, there's a lot of players that we are looking at on the radar as well to be bringing in to the club. So I don't see where Sean Longstaff would fit in the long-term future of Newcastle going forward. But we'll see what happens with that as we progress forward, and see what happens with the rest of this transfer window. Moving on from, of course, that news, we'll talk about some transfer targets, and of course, the one still being talked about a lot is Sven Botman. Again, we'll remain in contact with Sven Botman. It looked like it was over at one point, but it's still going on in the background. Newcastle are desperate to get Sven Botman, and you can see why. He's one of the most sought after centre backs in world football right now. Everybody is after Sven Botman, and another centre back that Newcastle are pushing hard to get, as well as Diego Carlos. And we've put in a bid of £28 million for Diego Carlos. We're still awaiting an answer back from Seville on that one. But if that doesn't work out, there's also talks with Monaco about Badakhshir, and also Barcelona over Samuel Umtiti as well, which has been put forward as a loan option for Samuel Umtiti. For me, Umtiti would be a really good option to bring in on loan if he could put in the performances that he's put in Barcelona over the years. Having a player like that would really attract some pretty big names to the club, and link him alongside the fact that we've already got Kieran Trippier in it right back. You bring in somebody like Umtiti, that is going to really help push the club forward. We really want to get Sven Botman. Obviously, Diego Carlos is a one as well that we really want to get. And looking at it, it would be amazing to have somebody like Botman and Carlos in that back line. That would definitely show up the team immediately. Get somebody like Tagliafico probably come in at the left back position. You've got one of the best defences in the Premier League, if not in the world. But we'll have to wait and see what happens on that one, because the Sven Botman deal is looking a little less likely, to be honest, because it looks like Lille will keep pushing the goalposts further and further ahead. Newcastle have been told that we'll have to break the transfer record to get Sven Botman, as Lille have a €55 million asking price on him in this window. Two other Premier League teams, of course, will hold interest in him as well for the summer. Probably somebody along the lines of Chelsea, and probably somebody along the lines of Man City, I'm guessing. The French club are determined to keep him as well, according to the Telegraph. Jason Burt from Telegraph is saying that one. And of course, the other talk on the transfer market as well is Newcastle's bid to sign Hugo Ekitike, which has now become complicated apparently by PSG's interest in signing the French wonder kid. The Ligue 1 Giants see him as a possible successor to Kylian Mbappe. That in itself tells you exactly what kind of player Hugo Ekitike is. And of course, that's coming from Toby Cudsworth of 90-minute football, and of course Graham Bailey of 90-minute football is the one that wrote the article. We'll have to wait and see what happens moving forward with that one, but I'm sure Newcastle will be pushing hard to try and get that deal done, as he's being quoted to be the next Kylian Mbappe, next Thierry Henry type player, and that would be absolutely huge to get somebody like that in when they haven't even made it on the big stage yet. It would be great to get somebody like that in the club. Newcastle also been talking with RB Leipzig about the possibility of bringing in Amadou Haidara, sorry, and of course that exit clause that could be triggered in the summer for €40 million. Saying that though, it is said that if Newcastle are willing to pay anything near that, now Leipzig should take that money. Now, if of course Newcastle are willing to pay anywhere near the €40 million asking price that RB Leipzig do have on Amadou Haidara, and that's coming from Manuel Witt, who of course is well known for Transfer Market website, of course. And Newcastle are looking at ex-Man United centre-back in Chris Smalling. Of course, Newcastle hold a strong interest in the AS Roma centre-back. Of course, moved there from Man United, but it will need to convince the player to make the move from AS Roma to, of course, Newcastle. But I think, there will be some possibility that we could possibly get somebody like Chris Smalling in. Maybe we could get him in on a loan deal. That would be my option, to be honest. I think getting him in on a loan deal would be a good option to see how he plays in the Premier League, see if he can still cut it in the Premier League, because he's been in Italy for a little while now. And, we need to see if he can still cut it in Premier League football, because it's a different beast at the end of the day to Italian football or Spanish football or French football. It's a completely different kettle of fish at the end of the day playing in the Premier League, because it's a much faster game than it is in the other leagues. But let us know your thoughts down in the comments below about all of the signings and the news that's been spoke about in this video. Would you take Chris Smalling at Newcastle if you could get him in on a loan option with the option to buy? Would you take Amadou Haidara from RB Leipzig? Would you push for the €55 million asking price for Sven Botman? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. And as always, remember, like, share, subscribe to 100% Mags. Hit that barcode to subscribe to the channel. It only takes a second to do, and you'll be popped straight onto the subscribe page. And it's free at the end of the day. Till next time, I'll see you all there, and how well, lads.